Just take 100 gold. This is pretty bad, right? Scary act. Well, we can take 100 gold and try to get through this way, I think. I think that's the best we can do. Is there game sound? I feel like there's no game music. I don't know what's going on. But I'm pretty sure that the VOD doesn't have, like, any sound right now. Oh! For some reason it's at minus 32 decibels. That would be why. I feel like probably that's because my cat sat on my keyboard at some point. Alright, well, whatever. Hey, Sour! Did I see the Spire speedrun at AGDQ? I did. It was good. Oh yeah, there's no game audio if you're watching on the live stream. It's just for the bot. And I think I made it too loud. Probably safer for it to be too quiet than too loud. Alright, whatever. And I was looking forward to moving back to New Zealand. Yeah, too much work. Hey, telephone man. Hey, Pontius Pilatus. Hey, Lager Bomb. Rectify, thanks for the 46 months. Slice or Cloak and Dagger? Or skip. You're also allowed to skip. I don't think I really get to skip in this act though. Like a C-Dag, not too bad. Hey, buddy trouble. You really want to play XCOM? Anybody else just really want to play Long War for 200 hours sometimes? Is that just a me thing? The thing is, I'm not actually going to play it for 200 hours. If I like install it and play it, I'll play it for like 3 hours and then get bored. Doesn't seem worth it. Long War of the Chosen just came out though. I'll take a dagger spray, I guess. I don't think you get to not take dagger spray there. Happy Flower is cool. Hando Greed is fun. Is that Hando Greed? This might be a Hando Greed. Oh wait. You will always think of me as an XCOM streamer. I was an XCOM streamer once upon a time. Many years ago. Why did I... Why did I do that? That was not the right way to play that turn. Alright, whatever. If I draw Hand of Greed and no attack here, okay, never punished. I should have had 2 more damage. Just like randomly chose not to have it. Right? I think I should have. My brain can't parse what's happening right now. In a few days since I played Spire. You're enjoying Wilderness. I felt like Wilderness was a game that I might play a lot if I got into it. Hey classic username, hey Volchok, hey Bizo, hey One for Prez, hey Kamuni, hey Power Jeet. Long War of the Chosen is using the modding library that you wrote. That's cool. Pretty cool. I don't think I want these. Like maybe flying me. I think just not instead works for me. I think even though I have hand agree with hits for 20, I'm still fairly likely not to draw it and need to kill this, right? So, yeah. I think this works better, and I still get 20 gold out of the fight, which is all I can really ask for with this deck. Farina Bottle's nice. Terror is worth taking. Krogan, thanks for the 6 months. Appreciate it. People Pina, hey XCOMer. Titus Hollow. He is fun. I have not. Krogan, thanks for the 6 months. Yeah, Running Cats. True Wrong, thanks for the 3 months. Shishuke, thanks for the 17 months. Charlier, thanks for the Prime. This was the plan. That's my damage card. It also makes me money. Ooh. Ooh. You ran. So Cloak and Dagger doesn't quite kill next turn, unfortunately. I'm exactly 1 damage short. Oh well. So I'll just take 24. I'll take 23, actually. Ha! Outplayed. Mercury Hourglass is tremendously good. I do take 1,000 cuts. Well, I just got an Hourglass, so I don't need it nearly as much anymore. And I already have a Dagger's Ray. I could go either way on this, I think. With Farina Bottle and Block Potion, I think I'm going this way. Gets me a card remove. And I probably still get to upgrade here. Like, I don't think I should be taking 1,000 cuts unless I expect to upgrade it. Hey Natures, how are you? Hey Grogoth Artable, thanks for the 3 months. Anyone else wake up to a tsunami advisory today? Yeah, there was a huge volcanic eruption in Tonga, yeah? I don't really understand what happened or how big it was. Like, I should probably have read about what was going on more than I did. I don't know. When earthquakes hit, I feel like the way they're reported makes it very clear to me what they did. But when this volcano erupted, I don't really get it. I just don't. Like, I've read a couple of articles about what it was, and it's I still don't. Okay, what? What was it? Raven, thanks for the Prime. Hello, we snakes and coffee. There's a video of the eruption from space. Yeah, but did it knock down buildings? Should I be raising money for supporting people who need shelter? No, I don't. This is perhaps an extremely cynical thing for me to say, but does Western media not tell you that because it happened in Tonga? God, that's very cynical. Tonga and New Zealand have fairly close relations. So I feel like if I were in New Zealand learning about this, I would be hearing a lot about Tonga, and someone would be yeah, and everyone in Tonga's okay, by the way. Yeah, okay, that's not what it's like in the US, Cam. In the US, we're oh, look at this volcanic eruption that you can see from space. And I'm sitting here can you also see it from Tonga? Wouldn't that be the thing that was more compelling? Since there are people in Tonga? Yeah, but I haven't heard any fucking thing about that. They're definitely not okay. Yeah, yeah. That sucks. Yikes. Well, if there is some like charity work that's worth doing, maybe we'll do some of that at some point. But for now, I don't really know what's going on, and that's mostly how I feel about it. Reports of death, it's good. Do I use block potion for 10 health here? Just like, you sort of have to acknowledge that block potion can't block for more than 10 in this fight, right? It would be pretty impressive if it did. Unless I played this turn differently and didn't kill one. But that would be a strange choice. I could probably do it. Is it bad you didn't know Tonga was a place until this conversation? I don't think it's your fault, but yeah, it seems bad. Do we end the fight with plus 50 gold, 0 damage? Like, it seems pretty good. Did it take 0 or did I take 10? I don't know. Maybe I took 10. I think I took 0. Anyway, or do we try to Hand of Greed again? No, I think we end the fight. Quick slash dagger throw bane. I can just skip these. I guess I could take a dagger throw. I'm against Hexaghost, so it discards a burn usually. And then it can be useful later, just because being able to discard a card can be useful in a variety of different ways later. Seems fine. Quick slash seemed worse than dagger throw. That's how I rate it. It's a good shop. It's a real good shop. I think I'm just taking Anchor. I need enough damage to kill Hexaghost if I'm taking Anchor. I can buy Caltrop's Crippling Cloud card remove. It's a pretty good shop. I do already have a Lantern. Illyridian. Samo. Otter, hello. Slimbo V9, thanks for the 5 months. What does Akabeko do? I grew up in an ex-Commonwealth country. I mean, New Zealand's still a Commonwealth country. I guess the US is an ex-Commonwealth country. When you grow up in a Commonwealth country, there's a lot of like sporting and cultural exchange with very, very many other countries around the world. And perhaps the reason for it isn't great. It's because, like, the English Empire existed. Hey, Draconis. The US ceased to be British before the Commonwealth was formed. I mean... that doesn't seem very relevant to me. So, like, I watched my sporting heroes. In America, the kids I grew up with watched their sporting heroes, like, play against the Yankees. Like, Ichiro was going up against the New York Yankees. Oh my god, that's so exciting. And it creates a place in your brain to think about, like, what New York is. And there's, like, a rivalry and competition between Seattle and New York and all this shit. And it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, as a kid in New Zealand, though, I grew up watching my sporting heroes play against, like, Afghanistan and Tonga, and Pakistan and India and South Africa. And there were Commonwealth Games. The Commonwealth Games happen every 4 years, and they're offset by 2 from the Olympics. So there's, like, much more cultural space for international sport and exchange between countries. And one of the most jarring things to me, I moved to the US in December of 1999. And so I got to a point where I, like, knew a good number of people here. Had made some friends, knew some adults, knew lots of kids. And then September 11th happened, and all of the conversation after it happened, and everyone's, like, talking about Afghanistan or invading Afghanistan. I'm like, that's the country that, like, we play cricket against? That's just a lot of, like, pretty normal people. Like, I have seen them talking on TV, and like, the way that my brain conceptualized this other country was just completely different from how the American kids conceptualize this country, because in America, like, this was the country that was from the Middle East and the axis of evil, and it was on TV and shit, and like no. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I cannot imagine Ruffles. So one of the most, like, jarring moments from this was one night I turned on the TV and there was just live footage of... I don't remember which city it was in Afghanistan, but one of the cities in Afghanistan was getting bombed, and they just had live footage of the bombs falling and exploding, like, from outside the city. And I just remember, like... like... I just couldn't handle it. Like, why are you bombing the homes of these people? Yeah, I don't know. Incredible. Yeah, if you're going to do it because, like, war or something, why the fuck are you putting it on TV? Like, that is not a thing to, like, be happy about. Drunken Dead, I think it's the 4 months. Mathers thinks the 10 months. Just because Bush said it does not mean we all believed it. Yeah, that's true, I suppose. I'm gonna take this. Let's see if we can beat Hexaghost with all we have. What conversation did you just miss? Getting out of line tonight. Well, that fight went okay. I only got 25 gold though. A footwork seems alright. And go here, upgrade 1000 cuts, upgrade footwork, easy boss fight, or I can do this. I should be very good at killing Lagavulin. Gremlin Nub's like a little iffy, but I do have Fairy in a bottle, should be okay. The US military does flyovers of college football games. Yup. Yup. It's a strange world we live in. I think it is easier to win if you get good stuff, OPX. Hey, Gloomy! I hope I didn't have to play hand upgrade there. No, there's no way I had to. Absolutely not. Alright. Take 2 here, get another 25 gold. Also, this makes Hexaghost attack for less on turn 2, which is useful. Piercing Whale or Well-Laid Plans? I haven't been taking Well-Laid Plans anywhere near as much in my silent runs, I don't think. I think I might choose not to take it again here. Just take one of these. Iswaka. What's wrong with a plane exhibition? Trying to work out how to answer this question. I think it's just like there's a very visceral misunderstanding about whether this is something to be proud of or not. Having large military spending is not a thing to be proud of. Jimbo, thanks for the prime. Marshall, thanks for 26 months. There's no way I get to hand upgrade this, is there? I don't think so. The people aren't proud of the plans. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Also, thinking that the planes look cool is like no. No. You know how we're slowly starting to realize that fireworks give people with military service, like, some issues? Because, like, we're having loud explosions. And we're, like, saying that we're meant to celebrate them, but for a lot of people, loud explosions are not like a thing that you celebrate. At some point, perhaps in the far distant enlightened future, someone might be like, having warplanes buzz your house is sort of like that. Like... If you can't even look at a sweet jet and think cool a sweet jet without trying to crap on it, then you have the issue. Yeah. If you can't look at a like multi-million-dollar war machine, which has killed people, and is currently flying at you, and think, whoa, that's so cool, then your brain just doesn't work. You think it depends on where and how you grew up? Well, yeah, it does. That's sort of like the general point, right? Like, the reason that that plane is in the sky and exists is that it is useful for killing people. It's useful for killing people and bombing infrastructure. And if you are a person who can look at it in the sky and think, oh, that's cool and marvelous, it says a lot about the context in which your life is being lived. While other people might look at it in the sky and think, oh fuck, that might be about to kill me, or oh fuck, that has destroyed the homes of people I know and I'm friends with. Which is like, you know, you've lived the life you've lived, and you look at the world in the context that you've lived in the world in, but in the context that I have lived my life in, those planes do not look cool. Hey Skeetzer. Hey Jordan. Hey Scatboo. You think a 747 airplane is cool? Sort of. I believe Lufthansa flew 18,000 passengerless flights to keep airport slots through COVID. So, you know, you might be like, wow, there's a climate crisis when you look at a 737, but other than that, I'm gonna take another footwork. Dodge and roll may actually be a better card there. The marvel of engineering, followed by it's a shame they use it for death. I definitely still get like chills when I'm on a flight and I look out the window and realize that I'm flying. There's something very cool about that for sure. Is it just very difficult for people to understand that the world isn't experienced in harsh binaries? I mean, that's just a thing that people are incapable of understanding. Hey, Exotic, thanks for the 8 months. I don't think I have enough damage for Hexaghost. This is sort of a thing that I already knew. I think it would have been helpful to have drawn Hand of Greed another time this fight, but unfortunately I got it in a way where I did not draw it. I'm very close to having lethal here. I just needed to draw Dagger Throw. Actually, I think I usually kill there, right? It's okay. Yes, I could also have drawn Piercing Wail on the right turn. There were a variety of things I could have done differently. You can definitely look at trains and think these are part of an infrastructure that creates great suffering. It's fairly hard for me to look at a train and think this is used to, like, kidnap people in Taiwan and take them to some sort of place where the government does things to them. But I mean, that is a thing that trains are used for sometimes. I think that, yeah, I don't know. I've never used a fighter jet as a passenger plane. So the fact that I have used trains as passenger vehicles is sort of interesting. Gosh, when I was a kid, posting on forums, we used to make fun of the first person who brought up the Holocaust anytime we talked about something. It was called God winning a conversation. Like, it's like if you're like getting into it with someone, you know, it's sexy, the candles are lit, the night is young, and then instead of like, you know, beginning foreplay or being a little bit sexy or something, you just like, yeah, anyway. maybe chill, I don't know. Maybe chill out a little. Maybe take more than 2 minutes to get somewhere once in your life. What's that Monty Python clip about foreplay? God, that scene's so good. Stampeding straight for the clitoris. I can take an Alchemize. I feel like my deck is very light on cards that actually do things. I guess Alchemize sort of does something. We've been talking about how no interest in advanced military tech is justifiable. Have we? Thanks for the 1,000 bits, Ripang. This is the thing, right? Like, people just think that, people think that if you're talking about a slight suffering in the world, you're talking about the greatest suffering that the world has ever experienced. People think that if you are slightly criticizing a thing, you hate the thing and think that there is no conceivable value in it. I don't know. Metal Ape and thinks of 22 months. Yeah, I don't think that was because of Godwin's Law. Bang. Hey Chip, thanks for the 16 months. No interest in anything is justifiable. Nothing is ethical under capitalism. Interest itself is problematic. Yeah? Excuse me, going to go sit cross-legged until I die. I actually can't sit cross-legged. I have to like stretch for weeks before I can get to a point where I sit cross-legged. My legs are really fucked up. I injured them often playing soccer as a kid. How's it going, SBR? I said everyone who thought a jet might be cool was wrong because it has been used to kill people. I said that celebrating jets was weird because they weren't something to be celebrated. If you disagree with that, then... Oh, and also I didn't say like a jet, I said like a warplane, I'm pretty sure. If you disagree with that, then you can disagree with it. But yeah. That's what I said. So I currently am sitting on 55 damage, which means I'm 23 short. I don't think Silent Attack Potion gets me there that often, unfortunately. It's probably still worth it to try, though. But this isn't enough, yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate. The problem is I take quite a lot of damage because I didn't kill that turn, I'm pretty sure. Youch. Hey, bubble tea. GHGIK. The US has had a very unique past 100 years, stale moves. Very, very strange past 100 years. Relative to what the last 100 years have been like for the rest of the world. I think I'd take Akira Plus over Piercing Well. The Piercing Well is a good card there, though. That's not quite true, Mage. I hope it's not true. Might actually be true. I wouldn't say that, that's all I'm saying. We've only been in one world war in these last 100 years. Generally. The US is... How did Canada do after that world war? Another childhood memory I have. Maybe I shouldn't even laugh at this. I remember a kid talking about how great it was that the US had developed the atomic bomb Oh my god, sorry. 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 Oh my god. It's funny with the right mindset and, you know, relatively horrifying otherwise. I think I might have to take Caltrop so I can kill Book of Stabbing. Why is my phone ringing? Don't do that. There's a weird phase of historic education where US peeps are taught that atomic bombs ended war. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to think about what the world would be like if it were different from what it is. There's no one right answer to that because it would be different, and then different things would happen. People think about what it might be like if it wasn't like what it is like, even if it don't. Something like that. I'm a fan of nuclear power. More than coal power. I mostly think that I don't have relevant degrees for being able to say which sort of power we should use to, like, turn lights on. So I mostly let people who have degrees in relevant fields have opinions about that. I would like it if 2 generations from now, like, there were still glaciers. Which is maybe optimistic, but I do think that would be cool. Alright, how does this handle work? Do I alchemize and see what's going on? Because there are alchemizes that can end the fight now. And if I don't alchemize, I just footwork survivor. And it sort of sucks. Whoops. Was not one of the best colorless potions. I think that the history of the world is tremendously complicated. And particularly the geopolitical implications of actions during World War II. Particularly with regard to, like, loss of human life are tremendously intertwined and complex. But whether you should be proud and positive or not about dropping bombs that killed entire cities on cities of people, I don't think is complicated. That's like I just don't think that that particular thing is a complicated thing. Alice thinks of the 14 months. EGWR. I assume you're agreeing with me, Defiant Odds. I'm like not 100% sure, but I'm gonna assume you are. I think we go right now. Gotcha. Never assume something like that here on the internet. Ooh, Ghosts in the Jars, very good. Thanks, Sterling, for the 33 months. I've been slowly working through Marshal of Victory, which is the memoirs of... What's his face? What's his name? I haven't read in a while. Anyway, it's from the Soviet general who was largely in charge of the Eastern Front for the Soviets in World War II, and about his life and everything. And the way that he talks about the war is definitely also really weird and fucked up. Possible that we just talk about war in ways that are weird and fucked up. Yeah, Zukov, that's his name. If you don't want to get nuked, don't attack nations with nukes. I don't think that the citizens who we nuked made that decision. Don't... like... I don't think that they did. Anyway, let's take a Deflect Plus. Getting some nice upgraded skills. They did when they supported the government that did. Maybe the US needs to, like, I don't know. No, I'm not gonna wish that on anyone. Country which has famously not been invaded for like 200 years. Shares takes about war. Thanks for the raid, Honk! How you doing, Honk? We're just chilling out and talking about super normal things tonight, like atomic bombs. So, you know, you've been warned. I don't 100% know how we got here, but here we are. I am going to grab the food that is at my door. I will be right back. We started at the tsunami. Oh yeah, we started at the tsunami because the coverage I saw in media here about the tsunami was about how you could see it from space and not about like the human destruction it was causing. That's where we started. My food isn't outside my door. Chat, it's all gone wrong. Wait, what? Did my driver steal my food? Unstable. Dalton, no links for the Prime. People like to talk about war, but it is a waste of time if you want to improve the world, get off your high horse and actually help someone else. Definitely talking about things has... like, I feel like 25 years ago talking about things was like generally encouraged, but now we talk about things through like Twitter and social media and apparently Twitch streams where I play Slay the Spire. And because that's the medium that we talk about things now, talking about things is sort of awful. It's very bizarre. Like if you're at dinner with some friends you care about and you have mutual respect for each other and you want to discuss something like climate change together, you can just like have that conversation. And if you respect each other and are reasonable, it can just be like a nice conversation to have. But if the way that you converse is like talking with strangers and or propaganda bots on Twitter, like attempting to have that conversation can actually just be like grating and negative. It's very strange. Yeah, it's also possible to have conversations where, you know, the conversation doesn't really work. I'm gonna take a well-laid plan now. I think that seems okay. Conversations back then were in closed circles. It's now more accessible. Have to think about whether I agree with that or not. Hey, Catman. Acro? I think this is actually acro. It can be acro or footwork, basically. Those are the two reasonable options. I like footwork. I'm not sure what the exact consequence of social media is. Don't think many people are. We made 3 gallons of yogurt today. Sounds like quite a lot of yogurt. I have 9 dexterity. This defend blocks for 17. What do you think will be the best insult leveled at me during the stream or in YouTube comments if this makes it to YouTube? I was once called the Ben Shapiro of the left. That's an all-time favorite. Does that mean I advise people to buy condos at high sea level? Who's gonna buy them, Ben? A fucking Aquaman? It's like obnoxious fumes. Prefer my thoughts on Slay the Spire to political conversation. That is a service that I supposedly provide. Streamer, no. Don't hate the government. Stream the Spire for me. Which is like fine, whatever. What about the politics of the Spire? Oof. Now we're getting into it. Who do you think would win an election in the Spire? I immediately assume that the answer is the champ. But I guess it's possible I'm wrong. Where's my neutralize? Where is my neutralize? Slimbo has your vote. I think that's solid. I think that's a solid vote. What is Champ's platform? Populist. It's largely just I am the champ, I think. The debates start and Champ is just like, take a free shot, and the crowd goes wild. Shoots up tremendously in the polls. Bring back gladiatorial combat for entertainment. Did we do that already? I always get a little bit weirded out by MMA. Starburst stream, thanks for the 6 months. I mean, it's very fun coming from someone who trains. Yeah, I get that. I think that being a gladiator was probably very fun for some of the people who were gladiators. Was very rare for like it was very expensive to train gladiators, so generally gladiators did not just get killed. The economics of it doesn't really make sense. It's true that gladiators were not a singular group of people. Don't think MMA fighters are either. Were all gladiators slaves? 1, they weren't always slaves. Well, there you go. Alright. It's weird that Google is not more widely known about, I feel. Like, a lot of the time people share opinions with me, and I think to myself, like, if you knew that Google existed, you could have a much more accurate opinion about this. But I guess a lot of people still don't know. How do you spell that? Yeah, something like that, I think. They were mostly slaves. Does that make sense to you conceptually? Let's like step away from the idea that it's just factual that they were all slaves, which isn't. But let's just like step away from like that starting premise. Does it make sense to you to begin with that if you could battle in an arena, win a ton of like fame and support, become like a sex icon and celebrity, and kill people, or at least beat people up while you did it, that like no one would ever choose to do that? There's no way that a human would be like, oh yeah, I'm sort of like into that. Now that I have a runic pyramid, I can hand upgrade every single time. Steamed Rice thinks the 8 months. Nice skip on the Wally Plans upgrade. Yeah, thank you. Try my best. Allied Plans is going to be really good once you get Mummified Hand and Barefaced Stern. Don't worry about it. Take another Piercing Whale with Pyramid. Pretty solid. I would never want to be a boxer or an MMA fighter. But the few times that I've taken like martial arts classes, it's been really fun. Just for what it's worth. I don't really know what to make of that, but it's been my experience. Is footwork the best uncommon? I don't know, is the boot uncommon? I don't think it is. No, the boot is a relic. Yeah, it might be then. You don't find getting the shit beat out of you fun? Maybe you've never had the shit beat out of you in the right way then. I mean, BDSM is absolutely a thing. I don't know. That isn't like made up. Wikipedia talks about gladiator schools. Yeah. When I was in Rome, they opened up the Ludus Magnus? What it's called, right? The gladiator school that trained gladiators just across the street from the Colosseum for my program. It's not a functional gladiator school anymore, unfortunately, but I got to like crawl around in tunnels and shit in there. It was fucking awesome. How did it work? Well, the Colosseum existed for centuries, so I don't think there's like a singular answer that satisfactorily answers that question, unfortunately. But basically, people liked watching gladiators beat the shit out of each other, and or hunting animals, and or staging naval combats, and or other things. And I think when I say it, at least the general belief was that this started out as a funeral practice. There are a few things in ancient history about like placating the spirit of the dead, and if you had a great warrior who had died, there was some sort, I think it was an Etruscan belief, that having people fight each other at the funeral would placate the spirit and stop it from haunting you. Or maybe, I don't know, respect the spirit or something. And over time, it became apparent to those in charge that people just like sort of liked this and it was fun and people liked watching it, and so it stopped being like restricted to funerals and started being something that happened more and more in other situations too, and then eventually it became a state-sponsored thing where governments would build amphitheaters for staging battles in, and people would fight in them and people would come and watch. And the Colosseum of Rome, which is what I think most people immediately think about when they think gladiatorial combat, because of like the movie Gladiator and also tourism and everything. That was built by the Flavian emperors. So Rome went through this period where it had been a republic, ruled and premised by the people, although like actually, you know, the ruling class ruled or whatever. And then Julius Caesar came along and became the imperator and sort of put himself above the others, and his adopted son Augustus became the first like official emperor of Rome. And with that shift from republic to empire, there was more demand for like keeping the people in line. And this is where bread and circuses actually comes from. So there's a hill in Rome called the Palatine, which is where Rome started. And it's also where we get the word palace from. That's where like the rich people lived, and eventually as Rome transitioned into being an empire, it became where the emperor had their palace. And on one side of the Palatine is the Circus Maximus, where they had chariot races and stuff like that, like their equivalent to NASCAR, I guess. And they used to, well, I mean, that's where circuses is. That's what the circus means here. Circus means like a loop. Same word as circle, right? It's not talking about like actual Cirque du Soleil like we think about it now. And then on the other side of the hill, they built a Colosseum, so this huge amphitheater for staging combats and other events in, and they handed out bread there. And that's your bread and circuses. And that's my general understanding of Gladiators. Yeah. There you go. Let's open this one. Fuck. I didn't really want to pain. Not gonna lie. Sunroom Tomato. I think it's the 10 months. Arena is the Roman word for sand. Because they put sand on the floor. It's pretty cool, yeah. I was just a keynote speaker at a history convention. I'm glad that the education my parents paid for has been worthwhile. I don't know if I want this. Eclectic Chameleon, thanks for the prime. NASCAR is actually a circus and should have elephants. I mean, would it make it worse? Might make it better. Does Apotheosis do anything? It does tremendously little, huh? This is one of the reasons I wasn't sure I wanted to go for 3 here. I think I take Good Instincts, probably. Yeah, don't even want it. Flash of Steel sort of awkward with pain. A Surge. I can take Purity, I take Purity because Pain exists in my deck at the moment, is the main reason. If I take it. I think I do take Secret Technique. Yeah. Just helps with these upcoming floors a little bit. It's 37 degrees Celsius in your room. Is there a way that you could not be in your room anymore? Because that sounds really not good. Fury works for Wound and Boon from the Heart. Those are... Yep, those are... Yep. It can exhaust any card, actually. And those are cards, so... Absolutely applying a card that blocks 14 to block 1 damage there. No big deal, no big deal. Pain. I just tried to drink from my bottle of water, but the lid was on. And I sort of feel like I don't want to like take the lid off and go back because I feel ashamed. Did I hit myself in the teeth? No, I was okay. Joe Will, thanks for the year. Appreciate it. Do I want to take 4? Nah. Alright, easy. Not that ashamed since I shared it with all of you. Yeah, but I share things I'm ashamed of with y'all. This is what it is to be a streamer. Meat on the bone. Blade Dance is like actually decent damage. Do I need that for Repto maybe? My fighting Repto? I don't need it for anything else, but I might need it for Reptomancer. I have an Hourglass, it's probably fine. How's everyone feeling about the Wordle hype cycle right now? I find it fascinating. I've always thought that word games are just like really fun. I wonder how many of the people who are into it have played word games like it before. It's interesting to think about how many cool things there are that we're not doing yet, that tons of people would enjoy if we did them. I used to play word games. I used to play something called... I don't remember what it's called. But you got 7 letters and then you had to get as many of the words that you could make out of them as it was possible to get for you in like 90 seconds. Then you got a score based on it. And I used to play it on Facebook with friends. I have friends who only know each other because they were in those games with me. Same idea as Text Twist. This particular one was branded differently, but yeah, that's, I think, a name of a game that is the thing I just described. So yeah, I don't know, that was like a thing that I used to do. And so it's pretty interesting to me to see people getting into this now. Because it reminds me of that thing that I used to do. It makes me wonder how many people would have enjoyed playing it with me who didn't realize it existed. I do have 1,000 cuts in theory, right? Just didn't draw it. Drawing it seems like it would be good. Is this blocked for enough? It's 30 to 19, 28, 34, 53. 40. I should keep the intangible pot, yeah. Let's have a beat on the bone too now. The limiting it to 1 word per day is really interesting to me. Because people seem to generally like that. Like, it seems generally to be seen as an improvement or something, which I find really interesting. There's all sorts of psychology stuff about that, yeah, like having more options doesn't actually make people like something more. Man, this is fucked. It's like a newspaper crossword. Yeah, it is like a newspaper crossword. I can't draw a card, yeah? So I'm taking exact lethal. Oh no, I'm at 2. 2 is solid. Let's use this. Okay. This seems worth. Exciting for gifting us up to Dokamoy. How's it going, Dokamoy? Crosswords have also got on a hype recently. I wonder if a large part of it is just that there were already communities of people who were doing these things, and now they're on social media, and so we see them. It feels like a lot of it could be that. Like, I got pretty into Sudoku. Not because, like, Sudoku didn't exist before and then it started existing, but because I found it on social media. Because Mark and Simon are geniuses. They're very wholesome, man. The level of wholesome certainly helps. Sometimes I wonder if I should be more wholesome to try to, like, introduce more people to Slay the Spire in a positive way, and then I'm like, nah. It's not my lane. have the accent to pull it off. Maybe not. I'm wholesome in a very different way. Mark and Simon interact with chat sometimes. It's like the cutest thing in the entire world. Simon is so apologetic when he misses a donation. It's like his world has ended. Ergo Proxy thanks for the 51 months. Hey Quilpa thanks for the 18 months. Goodbye, Reptomancer. Got a Wraith form. It's probably pretty good. I'm gonna remove Pain from my deck, I think. Seems good, yeah. Yeah, I've been waiting for Potion Belt to show up for like an act now. You know. If it does, it does. It's okay if it takes the day off. It's allowed. I don't hate another Piercing Well here. It doesn't feel necessary, but it's hard for it to be super bad. Eh. I don't hate Warrior Ornithopter there either. But I think with Meal Ticket, it's a little bit less exciting. Is Reflex a thing? This deck doesn't have great card draw. It also is not a deck that has to play a lot of cards to win, though. Card draw is significantly less important if you can win by playing like 12 cards. And this deck doesn't have to play that many cards to win. It has to play more than 12 at the moment, but you know. You made a Slay the Spire themed Sudoku. Can I solve that? That sounds awesome. Can you share that on the Discord? Chris, thanks for 5 months. Luke, thanks for 13 months. Saying I might take a Velvet Joker. I'm not going to be offered it, but this deck could win with Velvet Joker. What I would really like would be another way to weaken things. I guess I have one of these. Yeah, I like conceptually went for wholesome via Destructive Maniac. But like likable Destructive Maniac, so you're like rooting for them. That's the brand of wholesome that I personally went for. But I finished Leftovers. I stalled out starting season 3. That's where I am right now. I still intend to finish it, but haven't watched it in a little bit. I've been busy with other stuff. It's really interesting to me how different every season of that show is from the previous one. Because it's still connected from season to season, so you can like see how this thing was being set up in the previous season, but in the previous season you didn't know that that was what it was for. Anyway, it's a cool show. It's fun storytelling leftovers. You just steamrolled through Ascension 20 with all 3 keys by having Necronomicon, Tungsten Rod, Blue Candle, and Exhaust. Yep. Yeah, that's intended. It's one of the strongest things you can do with Necronomicon. Should I take 1? Nah. Wait, actually, I should take 6 is what I should do. I do that. Wait, this is 5. Oh, but next time I have Wraithform. Okay. Some nice indie music that I picked. Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Beatles? Both of these are so good. I think Crippling Cloud might be better. Because I need the weak and I need to clear artifact charges. No greed? Oh, I got distracted. Whoops. I was focused on the meat on the bone working. I didn't think about the hand of greed working. Oh well. Mummified hand or orange pellets? Wait, pallets. Pallets seems strong. Either one seems like it works though. I could buy an acro, I could buy a card remove, I could just leave. I could buy another footwork. Really, any of these things seem pretty good. Just leave. Our horn surprise, thanks for the 7 months. Poorly. Norcam, poorly. Purity sure isn't a very good card. It had its moment. Sure. I don't think you've ever seen a run win after getting only 1 relic from Act 2. Pretty sure I got a key out of Act 2. Relics aren't like that important. It's a weird thing to say. I would generally like to have more relics instead of less relics, but there are absolutely combinations of things that just win the game without you needing to have any relics at all. Let's Here, do not feel strong enough to fight elites to gain relics. That's probably true, maybe, I don't know. Seems plausible. Purity did something. Bow. Yeah, we need a leg sweep. Do need a leg sweep though. $16, $17, $17 is enough. This is enough. This is enough. Which second boss do I think I will get? Probably just Awakened one again. Seems reasonable to me. We've been through phase 1 yet. Oof. Oof. Anyway, we could get through phase 1 maybe. It's true, the poison has finally outscaled the regen. Probably some legal problems with that otter. Otherwise, fully agree though. I have no idea how this deck kills anything. It has a variety of things that deal damage. I exhausted some of them on this way. Do you think that, like there's zero chance that Keanu Reeves could pretend to be Neo in a situation other than... What am I trying to say here? What am I trying to say? With how rights for things work, I wonder if we'll ever get to a point where, like, I can't say that I'm Jorbs at, like, a convention or something because somebody else owns the rights to that character. I was wondering this because of the VTuber comment. The artist formerly known as... Wait, is that why that happened? Is that why there is an artist named the artist formerly known as Prince? because of like legal shit. That's so fucking funny. It's also miserable, but god, that's funny. Doku is posted on Discord. That is awesome. Thank you. I'm getting conflicted messages from chat. Some people are telling me that one thing is true and other people are telling me something else is true. It's pretty upsetting. How could this happen to me? What do I expect from chat? Decent amount of backseating, some good copy pastas, friendly people saying hi. That's about it. It's a lot of piercing whales. KG the jerk, thanks for the 100 bits. What about friendly people posting copy pastas? It's been known to happen. Hey Orion. You want to be more like me when you grow up, says Old Man Biff. I think the secret is a good multivitamin. What's the science on multivitamins? It's like all 100% fake, right? Maybe not 100%. Not fake, but not needed. Pretty sure they're like sometimes useful. I definitely started a multivitamin during the Spire challenge in December and like suddenly felt like a human again. Pretty sure that was a real thing I experienced. There's no regulatory body on vitamins. Doesn't that just mean that the invisible hand has made them as good as they possibly could be? Sometimes I can't help myself. Take one of each brand to cover all the bases. That's good thinking. That's good thinking. Laughing at own jokes. Have to. You gotta like yourself. You're stuck with you for your entire life. Can I get hand upgrade again? I can. Does it work this turn? It actually does, doesn't it? Oh, but 1000 cuts gets a kill? 33. No, it works. Wait. I enjoyed Final Fantasy XIV, Crumpets. I just don't have enough time to play every game. There are a lot of games that I would love to play more of, but I don't have enough hours in my day, unfortunately. I don't hate After Image here. It's not very good. We just card remove and nothing. I'll take an After Image. Whatevs. What server did I play on? I don't remember. Somebody else told me which one to pick. Feels like a pretty useful Wraith form draw. I play Gloomhaven. Yep. Gloomhaven is another example of a game that I would love to play more if I had limitless amounts of time. Oh, I'm a weeb again? Fuck. Will I be your post-apocalyptic partner in crime? Sure. Ooh, I haven't listened to the Blakes for such a long time. Sir Man, thanks for the 7 months. In my Roman drama class, I did not like Roman drama. It felt like all the worst things about Greek drama, plus the worst things about Roman drama. Anyway, I was sitting there one day and I got a text message from someone who was like, hey, can you come to Magnuson Park? And I was like, I'm in class, and he was like, you should come to Magnuson Park. And so I did. And the Blakes were there, this band, and they were recording a music video, and we just all hung out. It was a really cool music video too. And by we all hung out, I mean obviously that I stood awkwardly in the corner of the warehouse while they did stuff, in case that wasn't clear. Am I from Seattle? I live in Seattle, yeah. I guess I don't need gold from hand upgrade anymore. Also, Stone Calendar was going off that turn. Good to know. This run is 1. You think this makes it to YouTube? Alright, chat. Predictions for the worst comments on the YouTube video for this run. The person who... there are some issues with running it this way, aren't there? Anyway, the person who gets closest to the worst comment that will be on the YouTube video, I will gift a sub in the distant future, if you remind me about it. I probably won't actually do this. I'm probably just gonna forget. Burn meltings for the 6 months. Minus 25 gold. Hi Jorbs. I've noticed that during Act 3 as silent, often you lose focus and mismanage your meat on the bone value. I just think that after 3 years of claiming to be a good Slay the Spire player, you really shouldn't ever do that. And I wanted to say that I'm really disappointed in you, and I'm disappointed in your content, and I'm also disappointed in humanity as a whole, because, you know, it's presenting you as a good Slay the Spire player. Anyway, thanks for upsetting me, and the comment actually makes some legit points to consider. Sure it does. I think this one and this one. Alright, here we go. I don't think barbers should make much money. We take Chrysalis? Sure. Set up and deflect and calculated gamble? Worth. GG. Cutting their pay. I hope you feel ashamed. I hope you feel ashamed. It seems important to win without using Wraith form here. For some reason. How did this deck end up with 5 piercing whales? When they were offered to me, I clicked on them. And then I had 5. Piercing Whale is a somewhat good card. Just blocked for 90 or something. Par for the course. Oh no, this Piercing Whale blocks for 90. Fair enough. I'm the modern day Tiberius Gracchus. That's a great comment. Thank you for sharing that with me. You have enriched my life. Have I heard the Simlish version of the song? I have not. I decided just to play Wraith form because otherwise I'm going to take damage. That doesn't seem okay. Ha! That was important, right? Now I don't have those anymore. I should have held it and gotten rid of setup too. Oh well, unlucky. Hey, that was still under 2 hours. You can spend a long time doing nothing on a Slay the Spire run and still finish in 2 hours. The robot's about to feed you, Zephyr. Yeah. That will feed.